Hello students, welcome back on Shiksha Mandal's GS College of Commerce, Wardha, and I'm your subject teacher for Business Economics, BCCA 3rd Sem. In previous lectures, we have gone through with what is scale of production and what is economies of scale. So again we will have a brief recap. So what is economies of scale? So when a producer is starting any new business, okay, whether that business is a small scale unit or a large scale unit, if he is engaging himself in a small manufacturing unit, then he is a small producer or he is a owner of small scale industries. And if he is opening his manufacturing activities at a large scale, means his business unit is large, then it is a large scale of business. Okay, this is what is in brief the definition of scale of production. Okay, then we have seen what is production. Okay, production is creation of utility. If the production is creation of utility, it means the producer requires different factors of production which is known as input, and with the help of input, output is taken out, and that output is total quantities of goods and services produced. When the producer is doing all his business activities, rather he is performing his business activities, there a time period is one of the important factor, and that time period is again have two parts, that is short run and long run. If the producer is adopting a short run period, it means he has to follow, rather it is advisable for him to go for law of variable proportions, and in long run he is adopting or he is following law of returns to scale, and that law of returns to scale is exactly related with increasing and decreasing returns to scale. Now in law of returns to scale, there are three different stages we have already discussed. Okay, first is increasing returns, second is constant returns to scale, and third is decreasing returns to scale. Obviously when a producer he is in variable proportion, he do not have an advantage of making changes in all factors of production. Only one factor he can change, whereas in case of law of returns to scale, he can change all the factor inputs. It means he can make changes in all factors of production. What are those factors of production which is also known as input? Land, labor and capital. He can make changes, he can make variable proportions in all the factors of production. Maybe he can change the land. If he changing the land, it is directly related with the size of the that particular plant. Okay, means plant size can be changed. If he is making changes, certain changes in labor, then labor also can be increased or decreased. And lastly, capital. Capital means the money he is using or he is putting for that production process. So he can make changes in all the three factors in case of law of returns to scale. And after making the changes, for example, he is making changes in labor and capital. If he is making changes in labor and capital, then what is the result of making the changes? After making the changes, what is the change in the output? Obviously, what for what sake he is doing all these changes? To save the time of the production. Means the production will be done within a minimum time. It means time is saved. So what is the result of changing those land and labor? That input factor. Okay, the production, the output is taken out within a shorter period, or he may be saving his cost. That cost saving idea is behind all that making input changes in factors of production. Now as we have gone through with that, we have seen the schedule. Okay, the first stage, that is increasing returns to scale, second was constant returns to scale, and third was decreasing returns to scale. Now what is economies of scale? Economies of scale is a result of increasing returns to scale. What is that? Economies of scale is a result of increasing returns to scale, and that increasing returns to scale takes place only in the first stage of law of returns to scale. That you have to remember. Okay, now as we have seen what is economies of scale, if a producer he's doing his business activity, and at the time of opening the unit, at the time of constructing that particular unit, business unit, manufacturing activity, instead of opening a small scale unit, it is advisable in the theory of production that producer should open a large scale unit, so that what can be the advantages for him is increasing returns to scale, and again that increasing returns to scale is divided into increasing economies of scale and decreasing economies of scale. And if he is making changes in all input factor, what are those input factors? Again, land, labor and capital. If he is making changes in that particular land, labor and capital for a longer period, say for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, see that although he can utilize law of returns to scale in long run, but again if he is stretching that activity for more longer time, then he is putting himself in loss, and that loss is nothing but diseconomies of a scale. So what is economies of a scale? That you need to understand first. Economies of a scale is a result of increasing returns to scale of law of returns to scale. So if he is expanding that particular changes for a longer period, for more and more period, he is definitely going to suffer a loss. To save that loss, what is advisable? He should go for economies of a scale, increasing economies of a scale, and that is why the very first stage is advisable for a producer in case of law of returns to scale. So I hope this is clear. Now we will discuss what are the reasons for increasing and decreasing returns to scale. Now increasing and decreasing returns to scale is again divided into two parts, that is increasing economies of a scale and decreasing economies of a scale. And what is decreasing economies of a scale? If the producer is stretching those changes for more and more longer period, then it is a part of decreasing economies of a scale. Okay, so in increasing economies of a scale, it has two parts, increasing economies and internal economies and external economies. What is that? Internal economies and external economies. Now these internal economies have again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points. Okay, 6 factors. First is technical. Second is managerial, marketing, financial, risk bearing, and labor. Now, if we think from a producer point of view, okay, for example, if a producer, okay, now the only person who is engaged in this business activity, he is a producer, and producer cannot make, there is only one condition in both the laws, law of returns to scale and law of variable proportion, that technology which is used should not be changed. So the technical factor, internal economies of a scale, the very first point is technical economies, or a internal economy has a first point is technical economies. Now technical economies means reduction in the production cost with the use of improved method and techniques to produce the goods. Technical economies is a result of greater techniques, greater efficiency of a capital goods with the advanced techniques employed by the large firms. Okay, it is always said that establishing a small scale and long scale, the large scale firms, establishment of a large scale firm is advisable from the producer point of view. Now what are the advantages of those establishment? What is the main thing? Technical saving. It means the technology which is used for the production purpose, it saves the capital, means the money is saved if the technology is advanced. Okay, if a producer is using the machineries which gives him maximum production with the minimum time, then it is called a technical economics. Second is managerial economies. Now for running a production unit, okay, for running a production unit, producer needs to appoint various persons at a managerial level. You all know there are 3 levels of management. We will not go into that. Here, a managerial economies. That managerial economies refers to what? Although the firm is small scale or a large scale, the producer has to appoint a person at a managerial level. So it is advisable. What is said in increasing returns to scale or increasing economies of a scale, instead of opening a small scale unit, the producer, if the producer opens a large scale unit, the same salary he has to pay to the manager of a small scale unit. At the same time, the same salary he has to pay for the large scale unit. So where the capital is saved, where the money is saved, what is economy. Okay, so managerial economy. So it is said that if a producer opens his business with a large scale unit, then there is a managerial economy. The producer is saving the money in the salaries, wages or rent. Then marketing economies. Every producer has to engage himself in the marketing activity. And what is that marketing activity? To sell a product, to sell his own product, he has to market, means the advertisements, the expenditure on advertisement, or to sell the product. That advertisement may be on television, may be on radio. There are different medias available for the producer to sell his product, to market his product. So if the producer is having a large scale unit, okay, the money which he is going to spend on a small scale, the same money is to be going to spend on large scale. So marketing economies. So every point you will find that one line is same. So instead of opening a small scale unit, the producer should open, or rather he should start his activity at a large scale, so that he will save his money, he will save his capital, and he can earn a maximum profit within minimum time period and with the minimum input of factors of production. So it is financial economies. Now what are these financial economies? Again, the finance is required for the purchase of raw material. Okay, the finance is required for the purchase of machineries. So if the producer is opening, he is engaging himself in a large scale unit, so it is advisable, it is always said that producer will save his money, save his finance if he is opening a large scale unit. Risk bearing. See, business itself with lot of risk and uncertainty. So he has to bear the risk, whether the unit is small or the unit is large. So risk bearing factor. Here he has to look after for each and every activity, each and every person appointed in the organization by the producer. So being a manufacturer, being a producer, he must have that mindset to bear the risk. Then labor economies. Labor economies means what? Again, the producer who is running a small scale unit, he has to pay for the labor, and the producer who is running a large scale unit, he also has to pay for the labor charges, for the wages. So again it is said that the producer is running a large scale unit, he will save his wages, he will save his money in labor economies. Then external economies. Economies of localization, economies of information, technical and market intelligence, economies of disintegration, economies of byproduct. Now localization, okay, or economies of localization. Where the industry is located, where exactly the plant is located, that makes the difference. Okay, to produce the goods, and after producing the goods must be reached to the market, the goods are transported to the market. So if the plant or the production unit is localized, is located in such a place that there are other units also, so the transportation cost will be saved by the producer. So how the producer can save his transportation cost? Because the transporter who is taking the products of the other companies also, so the transportation cost is getting divided within different producers. So here it is said in the external economies, economies of localization. Then economies of information, technical and marketing intelligence. See here, every businessman is always thinking about the competitors. Who are the other competitors in the market? Okay, what is the future? What is the forecast of my business? So in that they have to spend lot of money in surveys, in making the they are examining what the competitors are doing in the market. They are checking the rates, prices of the other products also. So this is also economic, that information or technical knowledge they have to collect from the others. Means they have to appoint some persons, they have to make regular surveys to have the information about the market. Then economies of disintegration, economies of byproduct. Now what is byproduct and disintegration? For example, a producer who is running a textile unit, okay, in the textile unit, to produce that textile, first of all he needs to produce the cloth, okay, and he is in need of different or n number of laborers in that. So when there is some product which is byproduct, means for example we can say the dye or the some kind of material which is used in that particular production process is remained, okay, then some byproduct, means the same product some other products can also be produced, that is what is byproduct. So in case of textile industries, he can also help the byproduct industries. For example, like a dye company, okay, different kinds of colors can be used, and those wasted colors can be reutilized by the other company. So economies of byproduct also. Now this is all about increasing economies of a scale. Now decreasing. Just we have discussed what is decreasing, means if the production process is extended or it is enlarged up to for a longer period, then it will be diseconomies of a scale or decreasing economies of a scale. Again, decreasing economies of a scale have two parts, internal economies and external economies. Now what kind of difficulties, what kinds of problems are coming in the process of decreasing economies of a scale? That is technical difficulties. Now technical difficulties, managerial and commercial difficulties, difficulties in coordination and decision making, financial difficulties, increased risk. See, all the things which we have discussed in internal economies are getting affected, or it is just opposite of the internal economies. Technical difficulties, okay, if the producer is using the same machine for a longer period, then definitely there will be some problem, okay, that machine will not work for a longer period, then it may require repairs and maintenance. So all the charges, all the costing of the technical, that is known as technical difficulties. Again, it is advisable that the producer should think in advance. He should forecast which type of industry he is going to run, whether a small scale or a large scale, okay. Then he should not stretch the time period of the production process. If the time period is expanded or he is stretching his time period, that will be affected, or that will be called as a decreasing economies of a scale. The same thing is managerial and commercial difficulty, okay. It is difficult to find to pay a manager for a longer period because he is not getting as much profit as compared to in a increasing scale of return. So that will be a managerial or a commercial difficulty. Means he has to pay more on salaries. He needs to, the producer have to pay more on wages, okay, more on raw material. So the time period should not be extended more and more, although it is a longer period, but he should not stretch and carry on his production activity for a longer time. Financial difficulties also. Obviously, every time he cannot take loan from money lender or a bank, okay, because after all he has to pay whatever the money has been taken from someone else, he has to pay along with the interest. So that these are the financial difficulties or increasing risk in internal economies. External, limitation of a place, local market area. See, all these factors are exactly opposite. It gets converted into diseconomies if it is not properly utilized, or if it is not taken place according to the time period and the forecasted time decision of the business. So that is what is external economies, but decreasing economies of a scale. So these are all points or reasons for increasing and decreasing returns to scale. Thank you.